Last segment, I think it's probably going to be a brief one, but I thought this was hilarious. It's probably my favorite dunking that I've seen the internet do. And it comes courtesy of this post right here. And this is from Pitchfork. And this is a review of Tyga's new album, Starface. And they gave it 0 out of 10. Now, I did a story on this on the channel last night that ran today. And this user score here was 2.5. So since I recorded this, which was, I guess, early this morning, I recorded it maybe around 3 or 4 this morning. This went from 2.5 to 1.2. So the readers are catching up to where Pitchfork is. Now, I don't normally rock with Pitchfork's ratings. I tend to like the pros. They got a lot of great writers over there. But as far as where they rate stuff, I'm not with. But this one actually felt pretty apropos considering it's nebulous how much AI Tyga actually used on this album. But here is a pull quote that I think is hilarious. He said, in the beginning, there's 2 quotes here I want to pull. One, he compared the project to Lil Wayne's Rebirth, right? The rock album that Wayne did. And he said, and real fast, big shout out to the writer. This is Drew Miller, right? So in comparing Tyga's new album to Lil Wayne, he says, but hey, it's the most publicity Tyga has gotten in a decade. While I shudder to think what Rebirth would have sounded like in an age of prompt bass pop, I can all but guarantee you it would be better than this piece of shit. Jesus. Not a fan. Not a fan of this Tyga album. He also goes on to say here that this album would be better if it didn't exist. Everything would be better if it did not exist. And so now I see this and I understand where the 0 came from. I think there's more things at play than just somebody made bad music. This is arguably someone who typed in prompts and put out this album. It's more significant because in the weeks prior, we had Phoenix Flexin with his song Rubbers. One of the maybe 6 or 7 rap songs on the charts this summer. Found out that was an AI song. And Phoenix Flexin been running around. Shout out to Phoenix Flexin. Shout out to Shoreline Mafia. Shout out to OGZ, everybody. But Phoenix Flexin been running around saying this was his song, putting on his British accent, trying to explain to people how he made it. He came clean. And when he came clean that it was actually AI, right after that, Tyga, who had been marketing this project as a human-made project. Or in the beginning, he said there was no AI at all. After the Phoenix Flexing reveal happens, that's when Tyga's like, yeah, definitely use AI for some music, some sounds or whatever. So this 0 to me is just a rating that I personally think makes sense considering we don't really know how this project was made or who made this project, right? And so, and while this happened today, there was another update in the AI space, right? And this was the update. It's from Suno, which is one of the biggest AI music generating platforms. It says, we are proud to announce a landmark global partnership with BMG to help grow the creative ecosystem. Together, we are building a future with artists and songwriters at the table, placing human creativity at the center. So Tyga's album gets a 0 because of a number of reasons, but we're not quite sure where it came from. And then also today, we have an announcement from Suno that they have partnered with BMG. And so whether or not we enjoy AI music or find the talent in it, it seems to be here to stay more than anything else. But open floor, when you see Tyga with a rating like this, what comes to mind? Open floor.
Hot garbage. Hot garbage. It's the worst project he's ever put out. It's horrible. He should be ashamed of himself. As somebody just typed in the chat, it's gross. And I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna end mine. You know what I mean? That's it.
Stat Quo. You can catch him tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. on the Third Verse podcast. Special guest, Terrace Martin, will be sitting with us to talk about To Pimp a Butterfly. You don't want to miss that. He'll be on. So check out Third Verse podcast, 8 a.m. on Thursday. You got anything else you want to leave with the people?
We interviewing Black Sam and Nipsey brother. Yeah, we doing that on Friday. I'm telling all the business.
Yeah, we got
Got
Black
Punch
Sam,
coming
Vino,
up.
Rito. Yeah, yep.
Bino and Black Sam coming up. We got Punch coming up. You know what I mean? So it's about to be a whole TDE affair in West Coast. We getting it done. Justin don't like me spilling the beans. But yeah, come on down. Come on through.
Got to check out Third Verse Podcast. It's all happening. Stat Quo, my
Yeah.
brother. Now second
All right,
applause.
Hi, Cat.
I've been chasing Terrence down for a couple months now, so I'm glad to see you gonna get him, man. That's gonna be a dope interview, brother.
Word up, man. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's definitely touch base before it. I'd love to see if there's any, see what you'd want to ask him, because I know where you're coming from. It's gonna be it's actually going to be a number of things that you probably want to ask him that probably wouldn't even come to my mind. So let's definitely talk.
Yeah.
Let's definitely talk.
The Tyga thing, for me, it was just like I can't stand AI, but at the same time, I'm tired of music that's not made by musicians anyway. So the way I'm looking at it is, I've had enough program music. I had enough of people who sing but not really singing, people who are auto-tuning. We've been in AI for 20 years now, between the auto-tune, between all the beats being programmed onto a machine. You know what I mean? We've been in AI world, but to see this get trashed the way it did, I was like, that was a little bit eye-opening, because it's a lot of AI music out there. The way they targeted this one, it was like, what makes this one exceptionally worse than a lot of music that's out there? You know what I mean? But at the same time, I do believe it deserves to get trashed, because let's leave the 80s in the 80s. I'm tired of 80s remakes, man. Especially that cheesy of the 80s. The 80s was already corny enough, but the 80s were corny, but the music was good. You know what I mean? That's just corny 80s on top of 2026 corny. It was just like, yeah, maybe it'll discourage the next artist from trying some corny throwback. Maybe they'll have to actually do the music. If you want to go to the 80s, do the music the way they did it in the 80s,
That's part of my critique that I had in my video for that project. All right, you got AI. You have an algorithm that can create anything you want in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're as far as your imagination can reach. And you reach for Scarface, probably one of the most overdone references, themes, metaphors you can run in this genre at all. You know how many people done talked about Scarface inspired things, and even just away from music. Grand Theft Auto Vice City been sitting there forever.
That's exactly what I'm about to say. That in Miami Vice, because I'm cool.
Come on.
I mean, I see the whole, man, Don Johnson, let Don Johnson rest. You dig what I'm saying? Like, the whole Miami Vice thing, it was given the fresh and fit background. Everybody's using bruh. It's a lot of ways, and it's a shameful, because he's from my great city of Gardena, LA, California. You know what I mean? But you went against Tyga. Let me just listen to me real quick. Los Angeles is the home of R&B, brother. All right. R&B started here, and R&B flourished here, and because we deal with a live sound, we deal with lush arrangements, we deal with musicality, and even if it is going to be programmed, it has to be programmed by humans. You try to take the shortcut. That is not the LA way of making music. The LA gods shine down on you musically, and you had to pay for it by that review. So take that review honestly, my brother, and let's go back and retool. And if you're going to use AI, like, take some shrooms first or something and get in that imagination. That's all I got to say.
9-second applause. We had...
Somebody said Motown don't exist. No, LA started R&B in 1945. Motown wasn't until 1960. Just make that correct.
Word up. Open floor.
Go ahead, BK. I want to see the nigga perform it. Please, I can't wait. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna cry tears. I am going to cry tears. Did y'all listen to the album? Oh my God. I am going to fucking throw up laughing at this shit. When he tried to perform these songs, oh my God. Like, he really is doing like, yeah, right. Okay, let's be honest. He could have cooked. That's why I agree with almost everything you said, Dewan, because, like, if you've decided fuck it, we using AI. Niggas always say they don't want to use shit in the future, because I definitely think 10 years from now, most motherfuckers is gonna be using AI in some type of way. But I also am not the type of person that feels like that bullshit can't exist for real shit to exist. I think real shit is gonna be set on a certain level, and then we're gonna have like the little bullshit, dumb shit or whatever, right? Now, if he would have really did it, where it's like, I'm really about to create like this outstanding, amazing sonic experience based on actually knowledge of how this shit is supposed to sound. Like you did White Yacht Rock, the real songs smoking this album. The real White Yacht Rock songs smoking shit. Like you could do I'm lying?
Yeah, that was just in Blue Eyed Soul. Let's call
Blue Eyed Soul too.
They tried to take us out of it, renaming it Yacht Rock. That's Blue Eyed Soul. No.
Well, no, I kind of disagree, because I think Blue Eyed Soul is good in a black way.
No, I'm talking about in the 80s. They called, when it was Michael McDonald was actually recording it, they were calling him Blue Eyed Soul then.
But see, I don't think Michael McDonald, and I'm saying what I think. I know that you teach this, so I want to be clear. I'm not saying it as if you're wrong. I'm just saying, as a student, I'm saying I don't think Michael McDonald is Yacht Rock. I think he's Blue Eyed Soul.
Well, they did the same thing. They just renamed it in like 2010, and when that documentary came out. But I'm saying like it was officially categorized as Blue Eyed Soul. They were acknowledging Steely Dan. These are white boys that want to sound black. Steely Dan, Christopher Cross. Then 40 years later, after the genre's dead, they want to go ahead and rename it Yacht Rock as if it was some dudes that was sitting on a yacht. That's white boys trying to sound.
Okay, well, no, I need a different name. Okay, like That's Somebody That I Used to Know song. That is not Blue Eyed Soul, because that is not even kind of sounding like soul. It's not even.
I agree. That shit.
What is that then? Because that's a white jam. That's a white jam.
It's a white jam.
Huh? You said that's what?
I was talking about Tyga shit was trash. That was no song.
No, I know, but I'm saying, because I can't make my point. Like, I get what you're saying. You're saying don't call it Yacht Rock, because that's a way for them to cover up what they're doing. But what is the name of the type of white jams that Somebody That I Used to Know?
Wait, Somebody Used to Know?
Yeah.
By Guilty and the girl.
You know that song? It's some songs that are white jams that don't sound like black folks. They literally just white folks.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I'm
Blue Eyed Soul.
No, Justin.
No. Yeah, we just.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's cool. I don't mind popping, but you started.
Carry on.
There's some white jams that don't sound like they're recreating black people songs.
Yeah.
Those are the songs I'm talking about. And it sounds like he tried to make. I just don't know the name of it, the container to hold that in. But it sounded like Tyga tried to make those. Tyga was supposed to mop the floor with them in that category. Like, if niggas tried to make this music, we would go fucking crazy. He was supposed to step into that category and make a fucking classic. If you gonna use AI to generate whatever sound you want to generate, because that's really okay. So these are my comments. I cannot wait. Like, no, I'm really gonna cry laughing when he performs this shit on stage. Like, that shit is gonna be fun. Like, if you listen to the song and imagine him performing it, you will cry laughing. He was supposed to whoop them in their genre that he stepped into, and he did not. He's not fucking with them other white folks that make this type of music. They would chop that nigga off at the knees. They would jam that nigga off the fucking stage with that goddamn wig. And 3, what's up with niggas trying to step into other niggas' genres? Are we paying attention to the fact that niggas seem like they scared to make rap now? This nigga went up there and sung, or some type of song, or he had his agent sing. This nigga is trying to catch a groove from the 80s. Is this somewhat of an indicator that niggas is like, I gotta find a next new wave? Like, could rap be losing its position as the wave, the one and only wave? Well, maybe not one and only, but the biggest wave in the ocean.
I mean, look, I think that might be part of it. I think Tyga's biggest issue here is that this reeks of profit margins. It reeks of like, how can we cut the budget of live instrumentation, of even just the discovery element, paying for samples, clearing them. Like it just gives like, how can we whip this shit up? I do think the deviation from hip hop, and seemingly like not even just a deviation, like running away from it is definitely indicative of where the market is. And like, okay, I need to shake some shit up just to like get people's head turning, because I think when he dropped the snippet, people were like, oh, okay, Tyga's gonna give us something new. Like, this sounds totally different than what, you know, he's given us in the past. But I think another issue here is a fan betrayal element. Like him and is it Phoenix Flexin both denied the use of AI first, and then got caught up in it and was like, yeah, but you can't really blame a nigga for experimenting. It's like, wait a minute, that's not how you packaged this at first. And so I almost feel like if there wasn't this level of like bait and switch or rug pull moment, maybe the response wouldn't be so vicious, because, you know, people were bumping rubbers, or I mean, I was never bumping rubbers, but I it was viral, whatever.
Bumping rubbers is crazy. I'm sorry, go ahead. Bumping rubbers. I know that's right. Safe sex.
Hey, look, but it was literally the reveal of like, wait a minute, nigga, I put this in the software and I figured this is Treblo, you know? And then he's like, well, I never said, yes, you did. So there's this kind of like fan betrayal element, rug pull element that feels very like sweaty crypto guy-y, like rug pull-y about it. And it feels like you're trying to hit a lick in a way that it just feels gross. Also, it's like, I loved the author of the Pitchfork article because, and the way that he started it out talking about rebirth, because his point is, if you're going to make trash, like, let the trash be human made, at least majority. I think like there's one thing when it's trash and we can say, okay, well, he explored, he experimented, he kind of fell flat on his face, versus like he prompted shit from a butt, and that's what we're listening to right now. Like that's literally what that sounds like. I think like creating is the point. And so if he stepped out on a limb and was like, all right, let's dig in some crates, let's figure out what synth I'm gonna fucking use, and it still was ass, people would be like, but wait a minute, Tyga tried, like Tyga experimented. There might be more of a case for it. But the fact that like I don't know what that singing is, or half singing, I don't know what, I don't even know what I'm listening to at a certain point. I think that's why it's wrong, because I don't mind you going back a couple trend cycles and trying to kind of revive an era, but when you phone it in to this level, where I mean the guy Drew in the article is like, you typed in 80 synth Tyga.
Well, he don't know that he typed that in.
Oh, well, I mean,
yeah, because I had to read this part multiple times to understand what he was saying.
I couldn't tell if it was conjecture or not, but
no, I think
I took it as literal. I thought he put those prompts in and was able to make a song that was very close to what Tyga was making. That's how I took it. He
was saying, do not put in the nigga who made rubbers. Don't put in his name, because that fucked the whole thing off.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think he really did it.
That's interesting too, because I did see someone separate from Drew do this and try to recreate Starface, and it was literally Prince's voice. Like he put it in Treblo, very basic. It literally, close your eyes and you're like, you had to have fed Prince into this fucking like data set for the, I mean, it's just there's just so much like like fiduciary responsibility or lack thereof. There's a false advertisement type of thing going on. There's a fan betrayal thing going on, and the shit sounds like shit. It's I don't know what the positive is here, and I feel like it earned the first 0.0 in 19 years. I think it did.
Well, I mean, it's not like they actually have good scores over there at Pitchfork.
Well, there you go.
Still zero, even with that. Zero.
Yeah, it was a great statement.
Yeah, it was. They made that's what they did. They made a statement about lying about AI music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's where I agree with it 100%.
Can I say one more thing?
Quickly.
If you were to give any song a chance, though, gave you racks, maybe start to walk to my house faster. I don't know what that means, but I increased the pace of my walking on my walk when I got to Gave You Racks. Maybe I think that's the best thing he did on there. I do think this is the future of niggas making songs like this, but they're not gonna be top best songs. Okay, that's it.
I agree with that. 9 second applause. Before we move on to the second show, I know, Dwan, you've got an out, and I just want to say thank you for showing up or coming to the show today. And I think there was a couple of people who might have mentioned you in the super chats. You got a second to stick around for those?
Yeah.
All right, so we got Crown K. Big shout out to Crown K. She says, shout out to the panel. I appreciate everyone's insights on all sides. Salute Dwan B. Can always count on him to be in his music history bag. Support the Black American Musical Family Tree Foundation. That's it right there.
Support.
You want to tell people about that for people who might not know what that is?
Oh, that's my Black American Music Family Tree, where I'm tracing music back to the 1600s through now. And I've been pushing that, writing a book on it right now. Got my Substack, my website, incenseandashtrays.com. I do a lot of write-ups right now. Right now, I'm deep in my R&B bag, showing the roots of R&B and where that comes from. And I'm redoing the tree to make it to bring it up right now to reflect some of the newer information I've come across. But yeah, this tracing our lineage of music is very clear. We have free folks, black folks. It wasn't just slaves making music in the 1800s. It was free people too. You also had slaves that were musicians that were under slave contracts. Blind Tom Wiggin wrote 7,000 songs. All the money went to a slave master, by the way. And he played for 2 different presidents. So all that kind of history. The first American to play for Queen Victoria in England was a free black man, Francis Johnson, out of Philadelphia. So we give that kind of information in my music history to show the consistent mode of behavior in our music. It didn't just start with rock and roll, didn't just start with hip hop. We've been changing the world with our shit 200 years on this land as slaves and free.
Word up. 1 second applause. You have a fantastic R&B article that's on your Substack. And do you want to give people insight into that and where they might be able to find it? Because I learned a lot from that. And I definitely want to have you back to talk specifically about that. Maybe not Culture United, but also on Culture United. But I do think that's worth highlighting.
Yeah, if you go to incenseandashtrays.com, that's the general article that I have. Substack goes deeper. It's still, if I say general, it's still a 35-minute read. But on Substack, each section is about 30 minutes because I really go into detail talking about how R&B came together, fusing blues with vaudeville, with jazz, and these different traditions that we had. Not because jazz is multiple genres of jazz, fusing the Nat King Cole standard sound and how R&B was the sound that brought it all together. It put the emphasis on the 2/4 backbeat on the snare. Ray Charles was the first musician to use the drums, bass, keys, and guitar. What we see is a standard thing now in all music, even in non-American music. That was all standardized by Ray Charles. So I really take you through how we got to R&B, and then from R&B, how it got to reggae, how it got to UK skiffle, how it got to world beat, how it got to K-pop, J-pop, and all these sounds that are hip-hop. You know, I always say hip-hop ain't nothing but rhythm and blues instead of somebody singing their rapping. It's R&B. Hip-hop ain't did shit new. Sorry for a lot of people that think that a birthday means something, you know? And I spent last week in New York talking to a lot of your original early founders, Disco King Mario's daughter, talked to Grand Wizard Theodore. I was in New York over the weekend celebrating in the Bronx with the original guys. I gotta send it to you, Jessen. I got the Busy Bee versus Kane.
Kool Moe Dee or Kane? Kool Moe Dee?
The Kool Moe Dee.
Yeah.
I got the CD.
Say word. Oh, I gotta hear that.
People in New York, they loaded me up. They recorded a lot of them park jams in the 70s and the 80s. Early LL Cool J from 82, rapping in the tunnel. I got about 70 CDs from just hip hop, in the 70s and 80s. So appreciate you, Waverly, and those of you who know our research, they be sending me stuff like that. So I just put up a new article on the roots of hip hop on Incense and Ashtrays. All that's free, but if you want a more in-depth, everything that I write on Incense and Ashtrays, I go like scholarly. And if you go to the article, I got links. So as I make my points, you can click the link. You'll see underline. I got the music to back up what I'm saying. I got the interviews to back up what I'm saying. I treat everything the way I treated cultural anthropology when I was in college. So it's very anthropological, but also informative. And also my Patreon. You know, I play the music on Patreon. And of course, my YouTube channel. Like today, I'm demonetized today on YouTube because I reviewed that Essence Top 50 R&B songs list.
Well, that's one thing. That's another question I have real fast before you leave.
Yeah.
And I do want to put this on the screen right here. And so Essence put together a list of top 50 greatest R&B songs of all time. Big shout out to Mark Batson. Mark Batson commented on this, and he said, perhaps we need to take a moment one day to ask if R&B and rhythm and blues are two different things, because any list without Otis Redding on it really can't be a list. What are your thoughts?
I agree, because what it looks like this was an AI generated list by somebody who was born in 1992. Let me just get the songs that sold the most and put it on this list. Because if I'm gonna be clearly objective, my favorite music of my childhood is the 90s, 80s and 90s. But if I'm gonna take a step back as a musician and talk about quality, there's a cutoff line between 1979 and before and after. So there really probably should be an acknowledgement of post 80, because there were a lot of governmental factors, and I can prove it for people who think conspiracy. I can prove it, got paperwork. But there were a lot of things to really cut off and kill the lushness of rhythm and blues, the string sections, the horn sections, the background singers, the key modulations, these little tricks and nuggets that raise your spirit and make you feel good and make you just feel community and feel this chill that comes down your spine. That was taken out with the electronic instruments, with taking away background singers. And so I do think that there probably really should be a kind of a line between which one is which, because they had no acknowledgement. They're talking about impact. The song that really put R&B on the map before, because remember, R&B is the root form of rock and roll. R&B before rock and roll. And you got to take Shake, Rattle, and Roll by Big Joe Turner. They didn't have anything from the Chicago sound of the 60s. No Curtis Mayfield. They didn't have nothing from Motown. They didn't have nothing from Stax. I mean, it was just missing so much. And to me, it was just like, okay, this isn't a serious article if they're going to talk about the top 50 of R&B songs, because R&B is the root form of all pop music. All pop music is R&B, is airplane food version of R&B. You know what I mean? It's hospital R&B. It's hospital food R&B. Something generic for everybody else. But R&B is the sound that really changed the whole world musically. And the way they did that article, it was kind of offensive for those of us who are really into R&B. And maybe I'm a little extra offended because on Patreon, I just finished a 14-part series on the history of R&B. Then once I was done, I realized I'm not done. So now I'm 6 more parts into an appendix onto that. So now I'm like 20 episodes into the depth of R&B. And so when this came out, it was just like, okay, yeah, we need some education out here, because music is supposed to heal.
How did that lead to you being demonetized?
Huh?
How did that lead to you being demonetized?
No, my channel not demonetized. My show was demonetized because I played the music.
Oh, that episode.
Yeah, the episode.
Okay, cool. I was like, what the hell?
I got 2 recent episodes of my series where it's like, I'm not going to make everybody pay for this on Patreon. I got to prove my point. Gotcha. So I played the music so you can hear and feel everything that I'm saying, because I don't want nobody to trust me. I want you to hear it yourself and be like, okay, that's what you're talking about. I don't want you to think I'm tripping, you know?
Yeah, I think you make a great point about the. Oh, sorry, he's trying to leave.
No, go ahead.
I think you make a great point about the programmed electronic. How did you word it? Programmed music,
electronic beats.
You made a great point about that, because when you hear live music, it's like you do kind of feel it in your soul differently. So it's kind of, I think that's why I have a hard time pushing back on different so-called technological advancements, because I guess in my mind, I feel like we already accepted that. So I'm like, what makes this different from anything else? Because you're right, the same way they take out instruments and you just hitting a button on Fruity Loops or whatever to say this is a trumpet. I don't want to say that that's AI, because that's too flat of a way to look at it, but that is a big problem as well, because it's making it empty, and that's probably why Tyga albums sound like that. Like, nigga, you put empty on empty.
When you play music, the number one thing is the feeling. Every musician, you got to deliver the feeling. The feeling is what it is. That's why Maurice White would say sometimes he would say the words don't matter. They matter, but they don't matter. If you feel the words right, how many songs do we know? We can't quite know what they said, but we know what they said.
Fact.
And same thing when it comes to the instrumentation. Like going back to this Tyga album on the with this stuff that he was doing, I personally offended because my father-in-law, James Carmichael, he created the mold for the
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. He created the mold for the black crossover artists when he did with Lionel Richie, when they first from Easy. And then I think of a song he did like All Night Long. I remember asking him about producing the song All Night Long. He said it took him 4 months to put that song together, and he called in over 100 musicians to get it right. The string section alone is 20 strings players section, and the song still has a drum machine. So it still has technology. That's a drum machine. It's using a drum machine, but it's also layering the background singing. And I think in the final cut, that one song has over 60 human beings between the strings, the horns, and everybody else giving their musical opinion on these notes that he wrote by hand. And when you put that richness into the food, it's like getting natural ingredients out the ground versus the canned stuff, versus the processed stuff. And it's the instrumentation, the vocals, those are the ingredients. The key changes, the chord changes, the bridge, the vamps. These are all things that do this to our emotions. And that's why the song makes you feel a certain way versus if you do a 2-bar loop, dude, and it's this all over again. The singer may be saying some hot stuff. The song may be hot, but it's going to keep you in this repetitive state. If you want to open up, you need some key changes. You need chord changes. You need change. You need breath, life. And that's what got taken away through making all of our music electronic. It took the life breath away from the music.
And I think AI may like take it a step further where it's like there's still like a human pressing the drum button versus like it just prompts. Like I think the prompting element almost separates it even further.
Yeah.
That's at least what I hear. Like it sounds really, really hollow.
Yeah, it's like an exponential depletion. It's like, okay, we already had depletion. It's like, well, what if we multiply depletion by depletion? That's how it kind of feels.
Right. Because like as a drummer, if I'm playing 16 notes on a hi-hat, 16ths create tension. Opening hi-hat releases pressure. Cymbals, pressure release. It's pressure. That's what music is. It's a relationship. It's pressure release. And only a human, and humans don't do this it's just a feeling. You know, the tone, the way you do it, it's a little bit of a delay. If I want to go funk, I play my snare just behind the beat. If I want to go pop, I play it just in front of the beat, but I'm still on beat, whether in front or behind. It's all kind of these scientific things in music that are no longer appreciated because it's not taught and because the record industry chooses budget. Like someone said earlier, I think they just like, this is a money grab. You know what I mean? Let's go to the cheapest way of making it, but this is what you get in return.
Dwan B be spitting, man. I've been trying to tell y'all. Dwan B, got to check out his Discord, his course he put together on R&B. You can check the short 35-minute read or the extensive deep dive that every section is 35 minutes because there's very few people I know personally, and I say this sincerely, and I know a lot of people in this music industry, and there's very few that I can even say could sit in the room or sit in a conversation with Dwan B when it comes to the history of black music in this country. Thank you.
Culture united, our culture united, connecting all over the world.